some seats over there. All right. Thank you. The minute is up, and now I would like to invite on stage another president, well, ex-president, Kristina Sharykina. Please welcome. She is our, remind me, second president?
Our third president.
Third president.
Yeah, third president.
Okay.
So first we had our founder, then Sergey Saprikin, and I was the third one.
Amazing. Kristina, I have a question for you. Now, you have been at this club for a long time. Now,
5 years.
5 years, that's amazing. Wow. So what are the things that you like about this club? What makes you come again after these 5 years?
First of all, good evening to everybody. And, you know, I remember as our club is one of the most vivid, one of the most emotional clubs. So we always have had a very young team. I mean, all presidents, VPs were always very young. And comparing to other clubs, we had a huge difference, and it was the emotional difference we had. And having you, Diana, as a president, of course I have noticed that this is a peculiarity the club still has, and this is wonderful. And from my part, I wish everybody to continue being a part of this club, to give to this club as much as possible, and to receive from this club as much as possible. And I'm sure you will benefit from every meeting, from every person who you will meet, not only in this club in particular, but in the Toastmasters community in all over the world.
Don't go back, because you have a project to present.
Thank you, really?
Yes, is that your project?
Yes. But before I send my project, Diana, do you accept cash?
Of course I do accept
Perfect.
cash.
Then please accept cash.
Thank you so much. So please give a round of applause for Kristina and her project, Organize and Motivate.
Dear Toastmasters, dear guests, good evening one more time. I have 2 questions for you. So please raise your hand those who are here because of somebody's advice. Please don't be shy, raise your hands. So quite few people. Okay. And now I'm asking everybody, and who is here because of your inner necessity of public speaking? Because you wanted it? Well, the majority. Thank you. So basically, the question is, why do we do what we do? Generally, we call it motivation. Perfect. But what is motivation? What are the main parts of the motivation? Do we know? Maybe some of you. But as for me, when I was preparing my final work on mentoring in teaching the foreign languages, I read information about our Russian psychologist and developmental researcher, Alexei Leontiev, who became the founder of the so-called activity theory. Basically, he told, and he wrote in his researchers, that we have the direct dependence of our human motivational sphere on the structure of our activity. Is it truth? Let's try to understand. Basically, he had 3 main points, and the first point is that any motivation lies in our personal need. It might be any kind of need, both biological need or social need, but the thing is that this kind of need produces so-called general searching activity, which make us find our subject to satisfy actually this need. So actually the second point of his theory was about subject. It means that once you find your subject to satisfy your need, your activity becomes more task-oriented. So you understand better what you really need. And in this moment, your need becomes more, so to say, complex, And this realization of your need makes the same subject much more developed. All the things together produce so-called motive. Another thing of the research of Mr. Leontiev. Basically, motive is the emotional understanding of what we really will get if we complete our task-oriented activity. And any motive, by the end, reflects your initial need. So basically, what you wanted and what you get is almost the same thing. A lot of theory, and I see your eyes, and I understand that it's a bit difficult. So just let's have an example. So you're here in our Toastmaster club. So there were a lot of new people here, and in some moment you understood that you needed a place to practice your public speaking skills. Everybody here has his or her personal reason of joining our club. So generally you generated the general searching activity. The first point, your need and general searching activity. The second point, subject. So basically our club is your subject, which will give you the direction for your personal development. And the third thing is that once you become presenting your speeches, so basically working with your task-oriented activity, you will develop our club, because more people will come and more people will be interested in the Toastmasters in Russia. And if you really try to do your best, you will have this kind of motive. So you will understand all the benefits and results of joining our meetings and practicing your public speaking skills. The second part is about motivation and its dependence on the structure of activity. So in the beginning, I asked you a question. Do you remember the question? Some of you told me you came here because of your necessity, of your inner need, whereas the other part of the audience
was advised.
Perfect, thank you Olga so much. You are an experienced Toastmaster, so you do remember my question. Exactly, so here we do have two examples of two kinds of motivations. So the first motivation is called the external motivation, right? Have you heard about it? Like внешняя мотивация. So basically, it's some kind of advice, emotional advice to you, which was produced by so-called induced motive. Induced, it's like побуждение. So basically, your external motivation is about your emotional perception of your next results. And the second type of motivation is called internal motivation, or внутренняя мотивация, right? So the internal motivation is produced by so-called sense-making motives. Motive. Do you understand the word sense? Yes? Perfect. Okay.
It's like 6.
Somehow, thank you. So basically the sense making and the inducing depends on each other and push each other. But it might be a topic for a deeper research. So basically, what do we have? We have a motivation and 3 parts of motivation, which depends on our clear understanding of the structure of our activity. So we have to understand why do we do it. And as I understand, as I got from the research of Mr. Leontiev, we can't work directly with motivation because motivation is some general notion. But we can work with some exact parts, right? So firstly, we can work with organizing our activity, our work. And for that, and to have more motivation, I could offer you some instruments, which are presented here. So basically, what do we have? We have the direct dependence of the human sphere of motivation on our activities. And as you are here today in our club, and there is the birthday of our club, and you have an opportunity to develop yourself. You have found your subject. So just why not to try start arranging your Toastmaster speech for the next time right now. Thank you.
Well, now time for evaluation again. Same link, please.